Hello, everybody. Just like I'd like you to grab your milk and cookies and sit right down here, and I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was this guy who, he was really good at what he did, and he did so well that the company that hired him just thought that he would just do so much better as a manager, and they promoted him and they put him in a manager, gave him his own office, and a couple of months later, maybe a year, he went and found another job. Curious, isn't it? There's another story that I personally experienced would be a guy who's really, really good at sales. And he makes X amount of dollars, and he makes pretty good money in an area that isn't well known for a lot of sales, but he does really, really well. And then they shift him to a different district because there's more people. They're going to let you help him out and let him make more money, and he makes the exact same amount. So I'm Michael Harris, and I'm the founder of Renegade Transformations, and today I'm going to be your guide in understanding the dynamics of working style. Now, you probably already know this, since most people know it's essential to grasp the impact of working styles. It affects your productivity, your satisfaction. And while your logical mind may already know and be recognizing what we're going to be talking about, you're going to be amazed how easily you embrace this understanding as your unconscious mind absorbs the finer details. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about the working styles. There's three major working styles, or three working styles. One of them is independent. The second one is proximity. And the third is collaborative. And it's important to understand how these working styles function. And so let's dive into what an independent worker is. This is somebody who can do their own work. They don't need any help. If you are trying to help them or you're shadowing them, this only slows them down and aggravates them. Asking them to be on a team, or asking them to be a leader of a team, that's just not going to work for them. They just don't like it. And some of the examples of that would be single owner businesses, people that have a lawn service, or they have their own thing, and they have their own shop, or they have their own business, and they don't have any employees at all. Artists, a lot of musicians that have really, really high skill, and you put them with a band, and the band breaks up because nobody can get along. And the other thing is, I've got a whole ton of friends of mine that are coders, and if you'll leave them alone and just let them code, and they'll be fine. But if you want them to work on a team, if you want them to work collaboratively with somebody else, it just doesn't work all that well for them. Now, the second type of a working style is called proximity. And a lot of people who actually thought they were independent workers, or they wanted their own business, and they get into their own business and they don't know what to do. These are people who are more proximity based. This is somebody that needs a connection with someone or a team, but they need to be able to do their own work. So it's kind of like, I'm over here and you're over there, I'm doing my work and you're doing your work, and everything's groovy. We don't have to work together. We can talk to one another. We can have coffee. We can go to lunch. But I need to do my own work, and you need to do your own work. And a lot of companies don't understand this proximity basis. They're trying to put people together on teams, where we could all be happy and get together and sing Kumbaya, which brings me to my third working style, the collaborative working style. Now, this is where synergy and collaboration and cooperation reign supreme. You're talking about team sports teams, Navy SEALs, Special Forces, and a lot of rank and file employees fit into this collaborative working style. You take somebody who's real collaborative and you separate them into their own office, like in the story above, they're lost. They don't know what they don't have their people, And without their people, they're not going to be able to do things. If you think about people who belong to a group exercise program, or they belong to some type of organization, even if they don't feel like going, sometimes they will go anyway because they don't want to let the team down. And these distinct working styles are like really important if you're going to reach levels of success that you want. So now that we've explored these working styles, it's time to discover your working style, recognizing your strengths and your preferences and how you thrive in a professional arena. And your logical mind is going to get this. And the deeper part of yourself is going to effortlessly embrace the fine points of this. Now, how do you know what your style is? Well, first of all, there is no 100% anything. Working styles are going to be contextual, just like move away from patterns or move towards patterns. Working styles are in general going to be contextual. And one of the things that I'd like you to do is to just pause for a moment and think about what your natural preferences and tendencies in the workplace are. What tasks or what chores, what activities energize you? How do you approach problem solving? Do you ask other people for their advice? Do you go off on your own and figure it out and then do that? Are you more comfortable working independently or collaborating with others? And just think about this a second and think about some of the things that you've succeeded at. Maybe you did a project, maybe you're working on a hobby. Did you do that hobby with somebody else? Or did you do that hobby by yourself? Did you do that hobby in a class where you could ask the teacher what was going on, where you're working on, whatever it was that you're working on, and then, you got it. And once you've got it, you can do it forever. And the last thing that I really wanted to talk about is, a lot of people are they have their own business or that they work for a business, they do sales or they do team building and stuff. When you're prospecting for, new customers or new team members or whatever, is the person that you're talking to, are they interested in group? Are they interested in working in pairs or in proximity to other people? Or are they interested in working individually? Now, I know a ton of coaches, and the big thing right now is everybody has their hybrid group, program. Well, that's a great fit for about 1/3 of the population. So if you're not offering group or pairs or individual training sessions in addition to whatever your primary product is, you could be unintentionally leaving people out. So you got somebody that they contact you and you only offer group training, or you only offer individual training where they have to do their homework all by themselves. Well, what happens if they're not collaborative? What happens if they're not independent? You just missed a customer because they're never going to tell you why they said no. They're just going to say no. And so I want you to think about this. Maybe you might want to watch this a couple of times, but this is a great journey of self-discovery and professional growth. And just knowing that other working styles exist could put you miles ahead. I'm Michael Harris. I'm the founder of Renegade Transformation, and I look forward to our next video and accompanying you on your path to success. And I'll talk to you very soon.